Is my head?
Yeah, you're all in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start. Just so you know, I was looking for the stand for the microphone, but this is a new thing, so I was going like, never mind. Anyway, we're going to start in just a moment. Tommy Abacola, who is the keynote for the evening, is going to do the announcements. He's coming up here. Oh no, sorry about that. Oops, my mistake, my bad. Rob is going to do the announcements. And does this sound okay? Okay. All right, let me just go back here and make sure everything looks like it's supposed to look so I can know what I'm doing. My co-host, Antoinette, give her a round of applause, please. She's bravely sitting here understanding that I don't know what I'm doing, but she'll make it look like I know exactly what I am doing. And now, Rob will read the announcements. Give him a round of applause, please. He has been here before.
Which side?
Oh, this side. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I could have been specific, but you know.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to Sacred Grounds with Dan Brady as the current host of running open in the known and unknown universe, serving up good food and free poetry since 1972. Let's have a big hand for Teddy and Fiona. That was very good. And please support this reading by enjoying the food and drink served here. Poetry of all kinds, ladies and gents and others, is welcome here. We respect the mic. That means keeping conversations to a minimum and to a slight whisper, putting phones on mute, vibrate or airline mode, not disturbing the poet while they're speaking or walking in front of them, say, and keeping to the time limit, usually only 5 minutes, but that can change. If you want to know what is going on here, get on the emailing list or check out the Facebook group. Please note our streaming link. It's handy in 5 ways. You can view in from your devices at home. Also, family or friends can see you live or later on. And if you want to hear so-and-so's poem again, why, you can.
Exactly.
And want to do a self-critique? Of course not. But if you want to, and of course it is a way to put out the word, yours, mine, or ours. Which brings us to the ongoing theme, never doubt that a small group of committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead. The evening's theme is...
The evening's theme is sand.
Sand. And we are pleased.
Like in, do you have sand?
Yes, Pharrell.
There you go.
Do you understand?
And Pharrell.
Very nice.
How did our oil get under their sand?
Pharrell did.
We are pleased to say that our feature is...
Our feature is the talented, magical Patrice Hahn, who will give the Queen's Wave since people might not know who she is. This is Patrice Hahn, singer-songwriter, poet, musician, and more.
And tonight's keynote
Will be Tommy
Abacola, while our mini feature
is David Eldreich, who is in the house. In the round.
And the last word is
the last word is Rob.
And also next week's feature will be...
Next week's feature is Nellie Wong, the wonderful, famous, and infamous. Nellie Wong. Thank you for mentioning that. I keep forgetting to say that all the time.
And now for our fabulous door prizes.
Do we have door prizes for you? Why, yes, we do. Count them. There are 3 calendars. 3 calendars, because I donate the things and they send me calendars. And how many calendars do I need, for crying out loud? This is a great book, Indigo Hotchkiss, Susquehanna, great writer. This donated this evening. Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Quality handcrafted here with a pen and blank pages yet already. And this was brought here by my friend. Did I say your name again? I forgot again. Natalie. I was going to say Maryland. I knew it wasn't Maryland. Kitchen Confidential. That was just a new arrival. Now this, I transferred a bunch of rock and roll music from one computer to the other, and I wanted to burn a CD. This CD worked, except it didn't work, and I thought it was wrong, so I made extra copies, so now this works, but I don't want it. Anyway, Masochism in Sex and Society, in case you really want to know about that. Alice Rogoff, a great writer, an anthology of hers. And this is news from native California, plus Gull inside that, in case you want that. And then there are the the other kind of semi-prize thingies, which I call the semi-prize thingies, which if I could find them, I would be happy, but I can't find them now. And, yes.
Quick note, the floor is still a little wet right in here.
So watch
if you're
it.
coming up to the mic, be mindful of the floor, otherwise you'll wind up in Hay Street.
And that would not be a fun thing, except for the irregulars. So the keynote is a card you can pick if you want to be the keynote. You'll see that in a few moments. The last word, which Rob is, he opens the second half and closes the second half. That's another one of them door prizes. The co-pilot gets to sit next to me and go, "You forgot that again." And then two more. When I find them, I'll make the announcement at an appropriately inappropriate time. I'm just going through these just in case they're. So yes, so that is the prizes. Thank you for being so patient. Two more.
Member wishes to do so, please ask permission. We will assume that you have done so, should we notice recordings being made. Thank you very much.
Oh yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes, the other cards are the mini feature and the last word, which I don't know where the heck they are. I can't have it. Anyway, so enough of that business. I'm gonna. Oh, here, see, choose the evening's theme. There it is, and there's the mini feature card. See, without her, I'd be falling all over my place, wondering where I am. I have to put my finger at the top of the page, and that way I'll know where I am. Know where the next line is. All right, so that brings us to our keynote. Tommy Abakolomek, give him a round of applause, please. He'll be back at the open. You signed up for the open, right? Also, yeah. He'll be back at the open.
Why is this so weird?
Oh, it's this one. That's the one that.
The little thing on the little button on top. Usually you just slide it down. No, the little button on top. There you go.
This, look.
There we go.
That,
okay.
that.
Got it.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay, so
I knew that was going to happen.
I'm going to read from a poet by the name of Lamont B. Steptoe. I don't know if anybody knows him, but he was a friend of mine in Philly back in the 70s and 80s when we were all part of these poetry circles, sort of like this. We'd go around and read at various places. Lamont was a Vietnam War vet, and this book he published, Mad Minute, is his book that's about his experiences in Vietnam and his experiences trying to cope with what happened in Vietnam after he came back to this country. So I'm going to read one really tiny short one and then a longer poem to give you a feeling. This is an amazing book. I don't think it's in print anymore, but if it is, you should grab a copy. This is called Ambush. No, I don't want to read Ambush. It's too intense. I'm sorry. I decided I wasn't going to do that one. I'm going to do this other one and say, no, Ambush is really, really intense, and I really don't want to do that to you. On patrol. 20 years later, I still leave home like I was going on patrol. I still move through life as if I was in Vietnam, with snipers and booby traps ready to waste me. 20 years later, loud noises disconnect my heart. A cat's whisker twitching in the wind wakes me at night. 20 years later, I'm still at war because America's at war with me, or rather, the color of me. 20 years later, I'm still breathing. Many ain't. I should have mentioned in my intro that Lamont is African American. And this is the final thing I'll read. It's called Survivors, and it's not just a poem about vets surviving the experience, the horrible experience of war. I think this is a poem really that ultimately is about all of us. It's called Survivors. Some of us are drinking. Some of us are outlaws. Some of us are jailed. Some of us are lawmen. Some of us are high. Some of us are crazy. Some of us are gay. Some of us are bi. Some of us are transvestites. Some of us are alone. Some of us look like gods. Some of us look like devils. Some of us got money. Some of us don't. Some of us are black. Some of us are Hispanic. Some of us are white. Some of us are Asian. Some of us are red. Some of us are men. A lot of us are women too. Some of us got kids. Some of us don't. Some of us have killed. Some of us killing. Some of us need healed. Some of us are healing. Some of us give to others. Some of us take from others. Some of us still got our mamas and daddies. A lot of us don't anymore. Some of us are married. Some of us are divorced. Some of us have never been married. Some of us own our own cars or houses. Some of us have nothing but apartments or rooms. Some of us sleep on vents, lay down in the biggest box we can find. Some of us have lost everything, owning nothing but what we can salvage from the nearest dumpster. Some of us have turned to God. Some of us have left God. Some of us are cursing God. Some of us are painters, writers, poets, actors, dreamers, musicians, dancers. Some of us are janitors, stock boys, shoeshine boys, garbage men, ditch diggers, mailmen, cooks, window washers, bartenders. Some of us see ghosts, hear voices, wake up in the dark screaming. Some of us are lost in the maze of cities, like lab rats, never finding the cheese. Some of us are blind. Some of us got no legs, or legs that refuse to work. Some of us live with old bullets buried in the marrow of bone. Some of us are poisoned, dying little by little. Some of us got no hands, no feet, no cock, no balls. Some of us are shackled in padded rooms. Some of us have AIDS. Some of us are designing buildings, making cars, managing money, teaching school, opening stores, buying a house, burying the dead, aiding the physically challenged. Some of us are butchers, cops, salesmen, conmen, vendors, bankers, barbers, hairdressers, gangsters, scientists, lawyers, politicians, anarchists, hitmen, gardeners. Some of us are missing, disappeared in the mist of history, buried under the tropic foliage like lightning-felled trees. Some of us are ex-POWs. Some of us are the fathers of Asian children. Some of us are prophets ranting about the apocalypse. Some of us are fools. All of us are aging. All of us are survivors. Our footprints left forever in the dusky purpling rose light, yellowing to amber night. We fall out of history like dominoes, tumbling into oblivion like sideshow targets in deer hunting season. Lamont Septo.
Now, I'm going to give him, this is the attribution sheet. So when you read something by someone else, I have you take that and fill out the name of the author and the poet, so I don't always write Charles Lawton's version of Charge of the Light Brigade with the heavy water experiments by Adumpa in the background playing the slide trombone and the magic flute. I'll stop that now. Okay, it looks like we have, just in case people here are new, if someone is new to their time here, we give them a general, a huge huzzah, hurrah, etc., which includes clapping, whistling, stomping of the feet on the floor, pounding of tables, whistling, animal noises, and things like that, just to make sure they feel, God, this place is crazy, but I'll come back. So, with that said, this is like Spencer Steinman. Spencer?
Spencer.
Oh, there you go, Jerry, right
Thank you. I came here for food, but I'm also a musician, so it worked out that I'm here now. I'm going to play a couple songs I wrote. And that's all I need to know.
So I'm going to set it, you got 5, you don't, so you're going to be able
5
to do it?
minutes.
Huh?
5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, all right, there we go. So let me know when you're ready.
Do you know how the voice of rain calls out? Sunken from the years of drought, but hopeful inside, your eyes open wide. so we can stop the pain. But where's the fun in that? I know it's all easier than it seems. Do you know how the voice of rain calls out? Sunken from the years of drought, but hopeful inside, your eyes open wide. Thanks for dealing with my guitar being out of tune. I should have tuned it better in the 3 seconds I was here. It's appreciated.
Typical guitar players.
Yeah, that's a
Just
problem.
get a little, just get the little closer to the mic with your, just so, just.
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be good, thanks.
Oh, when I look at you, soft every morning, awake with a touch of light. You breathe and I feel you. You breathe and I feel you. And when I feel so blue, soft and unspoken, the answer lies with you. You fix what is broken. You fix what is broken. You awake with a touch of light. Awake with a touch of light. You'll awake with a touch of light. Light, light, light. And when I look at you, soft every morning, awake with a touch of light. You breathe and I feel you. Thank you.
Spencer! Those are both yours, right? Yeah. Singer-songwriter, hey!
Am I at like 3 minutes? Am I wasting time? Is that
No, I mean, you have to have the next person come
cool?
up.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome to the next person. Give them. I don't know who they are. Clap.
And give this guy another round. He should come back sometime. Please, because we don't get enough. Who's it? Britt Peter, the honorable and esteemed.
Sand. Reading sand. To see a world in a grain of sand. To read sand outside an hourglass. The patient journeys. The dissolving rocks, the distant beaches. or lots of sand, warm sand on the beach under our warm bodies, the sheen on your breasts, watching the tide line. Lingering days float past in memory like sand touched by an insistent wind. These are two poems that were encounters with sand in the shipyards. In Yard 3, Dock 5, the sandblasters are coming in their bleached canvas Frankenstein attire. Play the bolero for the plodding modality of their advance. Another poet asks, do you adore words? Yeah, but hide the noise, hard at it, the sandblasters, auditory hell. No one else can tell this, as the sandblasters scald the ship's hull with sand. And after the sandblasters were finished, shoveling sand. Now there's a job. A man wrote a book about it once. Zen and the art of shoveling sand. Stoop, scoop, and spray over the lip of the skiff. Pile the sand in. Stoop, scoop, and spray, the modality of it. We worked by the hour. Shoveling sand. Sing of Blake's minute particulars and vast eternity to break the trance.
Oh.
And if I've got time, I have one Trump poem. Tie down the man with the long red tie. Remember when people talked about the ugly American? Or when Thomas Nass stuck Tammany with his pen? Or how about Mr. Dooley lambasting Teddy and American imperialism? Herb Locke and Walt Kelly having at McCarthy.
Yeah.
There's always been something laughable about American leadership and our place in the world.
Yes.
But who's ready to supply the punchline to this current cartoon?
You are.
The bloated baby in London, Benedict Arnold in Pampers.
Instead of Pampers, I might say depends. Sorry about that. That's what it, never mind. There's a rude joke about that, but I won't go. Who's next? Oh, Rick. Rick Champion is next. Then we got Natalie Buford, Owen, Stephanie Karen, Danny Boy, Richard May, the cursive writer, before our feature, before actually you, and then the feature. So give this man a round of applause, please. A man of science and wit and wisdom. Please.
Continuing the theme of resistance.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Free French. La France est tombée. France has fallen. Nazis marched through the Arc de Triomphe. Grandpa George was heartbroken. I no longer have a country. His family had never seen him cry. Mais le dernier mot est-il dit? L'espérance doit-il disparaître? Le défait est-il définitif? No. But the last word, has it been spoken? Has hope disappeared? Is defeat final? No. Whatever happens, the flame of French resistance should not be extinguished, nor will it be extinguished. Believe me, and I speak of full knowledge of what is happening, and tell you that nothing is lost for France. The same means that have defeated us will bring the day of our victory. Charles de Gaulle.
Vive la France.
Bastide.
Wait.
Something.
Wait. This is the appeal of the 18th of June, 1940, historically taken as the beginning of the French Resistance. French movie grandpa and grandma were safely out of Paris, caring for their temporary grandson. No one told them that he was Jewish. Movie grandpa wore bib overalls like Grandpa George. Both were large men. Movie grandpa tuned in to clandestine radio, opening notes of Beethoven's Fifth, cadence like Morse code, V for victory. Le maquereau veut friture. Le maquereau veut friture. Movie grandpa observed, we always fry mackerel before eating it. Not clear whether he understood that this was a message for the resistance. Purple received orders, disrupt communications. The resistance came in a full spectrum of colors. Many must have thought that they would not return. D-Day was imminent. De Gaulle's forces entered Paris ahead of the Allies, a politic compromise. Eisenhower gave the Free French full credit for their part in victory. Grandpa George had 2 sons. Lee was sad. They put burning oil on top of the pool and then make the men swim under it. The men must know how to escape a burning ship. I can see my dad jumping in. It gives me the creeps to see him swimming under fire on water. George's other son got orders to prepare for the invasion of Japan. He saw the end of his life. New orders came to stand down. He realized that he would live. As I was writing this story, George did something that he had never done before. He came to me in a dream. Blue blazer, golden tan, gray hair. He was happy. His native land was free. He was an American citizen.
The champion, ladies and gentlemen, give him a round. And now Natalie comes to the mic, and then we have Buford after that. How do we give him a round as she comes up here? This is a person who teaches children in our schools. She went through the fire. No, she's not. She's been here before, but she went through the fire of hell and damnation because of idiots. And she is still beautiful, wonderful, happily teaching. She survived.
All right, these are poems by my dad, Thomas Vaden. He's a retired mathematician, so they're all about the economy, and they're poems of a numerical structure. The first one's a haiku. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. First one's a haiku. Economy sucks. It's so hard to make a buck. Return to nature. This is a Tonka. Yosemite is a wondrous place to visit. A way to escape from the daily woes of life.
Get really close to the mic.
Okay. Should I start again?
No, that's okay. They can hear you, but they'll hear you
Okay.
better if you're better. Sorry.
All right, I can start again.
Yeah,
Haiku.
that's good.
Economy sucks. It's so hard to make a buck. Return to nature. Tonka. Yosemite is a wondrous place to visit. A way to escape from the daily woes of life. Plagued by the economy. This is a Fibonacci poem. A way to get what you need. Work hard to achieve. Stay focused on your future goals. Realize your dreams regardless of the economy. So glad I hope you enjoyed it. Listening live.
There we go. Thank you. Mathematics, I love it. It comes in everywhere. Who's next? Buford Bunton, please. Bring him up with a round. or a square, or a parallelogram, or a dodecahedron that's been, like time warped into some kind of bizarre kind of Humpty Dumpty kind of excuse for it. I'm just keeping sound going while, there's, people.
Buster Posey hit one off the right field wall to win the game in the 13th inning today.
Yeah,
Today? Today.
he knows. Just get close.
Your business, they're fun. I have to have you. You protect my life. Their kicks, rest, and relaxation. You're around for fulfilling my heart's desire. I admit, I could be somewhere else, but wait. No, I couldn't. I wanted to stay here and find love again. You got any? Okay, here's some more about women. I'm fucking obsessed, so here it goes. I attract the most interesting women. I attract the most interesting women. Sexy, smart, zoftig, or thin, confusing me immensely. But I'm working it out somehow, I hope. That's
Zoftig, like Zoftig, not Zoftig.
I know you do.
Rowan Dunkel! So Zoftig!
I just pronounced wrong, but I couldn't remember how to pronounce it.
Give him a round, please.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Not now, we can't.
Okay, good. Noon. In the streets, searching for stray metaphors. I've heard the cock crow many times before Ulysses burned the plow. "20 lines. 1. Noon dew, fairy blossoms, sad castle and Lilliput. 2. Moon that lingers, sigh of the wand, waver of the heart. 3. Quiet pondering makes the night blue instead of black. 4. Ah, the moon, to weary the lips, dawning rainy autumn. 5. Mild dawn the cars, night rolls by, castles, bubbles, a fish tank. 6. Ears made light, a song of lyre and love, cats fret, bones talk. 7. Leaves roll softly, waves curl from your lips. Of 16th and Mission, Charles the Droopy. I said that to my metaphors, talking and howling to a soulful society of lovers and winners. To a sonnet, poets are looking for 14 good lines. I am not a bird because I have not got a beak or wings or a tail or a nest made of straw. I wish that I could, but I cannot fly in the sky made of dawn and daybreak that can break the day into small pieces and go to nowhere. Green sea roiling and rolling like pea soup, the only thing that has not been angry at a landlubber such as I. Orgasmic dreamland. I fell asleep afterwards and dreamed I won the B1320 on my knees. Sonnet on Tuesday. Saved of 1 hour's destiny, stretching itself out and all over the tears that insist on themselves. Always fears our spiritual dynasty, retching its insides out after a party.
fetching nothing, the still beauty of the arrears that assure us we are sane as peers that wish to break the catching, or purring reason for denial. The spirit that keeps us warm and waits for us through our trial, our fear of error that is. Norm in the dorm 2 times 2, space and rhyme, lordly pedestal of grace. Sleeping lasts as long as a poem by a defiant conquistador of the hummingbirds. The vacant library appears to be a singing nunnery. Leaves as gentle as the flags wave at passers-by, like a streetcar asleep at the beach. My exotic version of a vision that tries to be erotic, but is as bitter as an eyeless nirvana that is yet to be a third eyeball of metaphors. Golden laid like the evening rays, a nirvana sun stole a lasting kiss through my sleep of tears. Western denial. Academic whispers the discreet quality of their cleverness, candor, and conscience. To the USMCR. Fucked up cannon cockers out on a spree. We are better than the whole damn infantry. You miserable 03s, party and rebel. Set your spirit free.
Thank you, Mr. Owen.
Hey, thank you very much.
Owen Bickle! Oh, Stephanie Manning to the microphone, please. Stephanie Manning to the microphone, please. Thank you so much. Stephanie Manning, Old American.
Go ahead.
Give her a real round of applause. These co-hosts of La Promenade, a fine monthly series, the first Saturday every month at La Promenade, just so you know.
Thanks for the plug.
Well, you know, people don't say often enough, they don't blow their own horn, so it leaves it to someone else to
It's
blow
a great
for them.
reading. We get great features and good poets.
Yeah.
And the poem is for the native girls of the Bay Area missions. And there's just a couple of Chochenyo words I want to teach you. It's horshe tuuki. Can you say horshe tuuki? It means hello in Chochenyo. And kaknu. Kaknu. It means peregrine, falcon. Oh, it's actually a mystical creature, and mostly it means peregrine falcon. It can also mean osprey, a lot of other things, but kaknu is usually falcon. So, horshe tuuki. We are native girls. We only speak in Chochenyo Ohlone, not English or Spanish. We have only spoken in Chochenyo for 3 years since we learned to talk, for we are 5 years old. At Mission San Jose, all girls are separated from their families at 5. The priests give us shirts made of wool to cover our native sexuality, which I guess means our bodies. I don't know. They lead us to a room with no windows and lock us in. They let us out a couple times a day, and then we run all about until the priests sweep us up like sheep and back into the room. Sometimes the soldiers that guard us come in and take one of the older girls out. In the morning, he lets us back in, and then the girl is pregnant. She also starts to grow sores all over her body, like we all have, like our parents have. This sickness means the girl will eventually die. So many have died. When we're old enough, they teach us to weave cloth and tend the crops and make us work until we die. Our whole life is spent toiling and making babies for the padres. Poor little babies with sores on their bodies who mostly die as babies. And then we die, all in this cell where we live without light. They speak to us in a language we do not understand and give us crosses. They dip us in water and say ceremony we do not understand. Some of the girls learn the language and translate for us. One girl learned to read.
If we disobey, they take off our clothes and whip us. Often we do not understand why. Where is my family? They cannot look for me, or they will be whipped too. I wonder what is going on. I do not understand this place. There are the priests, the soldiers, and the worker Indian people. How long will this place, this mission, be here on our land? I am forgetting our old Indian ways. There are no Temescal sweat lodges or tule houses here. They have taken away our canoes and shell ornaments, our bows, arrows, spears, our mortars, pestles, scrapers, awls, our shell beads. Playing and telling age-old Indian tales are forbidden, punishable by whipping or the stock. They have taken away everything Indian, our whole culture. Now I am 12 and trying to sleep on this earthen floor on Warrap, earth. The others sleep, but the door is opening and a soldier orders me to go with him. I am not afraid as long as I secretly remember silently that I am Indian. My mother, father, brother, all Chochenyo. I will tell myself the old story of Cockney, the falcon, while it happens. Why do the tears fall? They will give me away. I must be strong like Cockney, falcon, like eagle, smart like hummingbird, and cunning like coyote. Such thoughts are no longer permitted. I will hide them in my heart, so I will not be killed like so many girls before me. I pray that Wara protects me from this man's swords, and that I am strong like Cockney. Codicil, which is like an amendment to that poem. Only ingenious and fearless folks survive when culture goes underground in the police state. But when they emerge, the level of rage may shock the dominant culture. Ohlone creationists say that the last die-off came from a deluge, a flood, and next time it will be by fire. And then I just wrote those poems, and then I was reading the paper this morning, and here's Bizarro, and he's got these big shots around the board of directors table reading a report, and I'll just go fast, and it says, of course, when it all goes up in flames, the bulletproof jets will whisk us away to the private islands this legislation will provide.
Stephanie Manning! Ruga! And Karen Melander Magoon is in the house.
You, for me.
For me?
Yeah.
Not for this.
For you.
Okay. All right.
Okay, here's some extra stuff. The ring, anybody wish they'd gone, and that's
Okay.
about
I'm gonna make this
nonviolent
a-
peace force.
All right.
And yes, how many of you have been to see the flower pianos, the 12 pianos? Yay! Yes, I know Dan. And you have, of course, Patrice. I went there and I played some spirituals in honor of the children that were not yet united. Remember, July 10th was the day for the babies. Anybody under 5 had to be with his mommy and his daddy? Mm-hmm. And people, I think, forgot. But
Some of them are in court.
What?
Some of them are in court.
Some of them. Oh yes, you've seen, of course, these amazing. Yes. How old are you? Do you know what a lawyer is? No.
3-year-olds.
Yes.
3-year-olds.
Yeah, and babies. Okay, babies in court. Yes, very, very brilliant. Yes. Anyway, so I did spirituals like wade in the water, like, go across the Rio Grande and to freedom. Yeah. Anyway, there's some wonderful spirituals that really fit into our time today. So, okay, I'm going to read a poem, but then all this sand stuff, I didn't realize we had sand today. So I have to sing some songs of sand until you tell me I have to go away. But I want to read a poem before we sing songs, because once we sing songs, I never have time to read a poem. Okay, this I just called Poem. The sun was hard in my eyes this morning, like a bursting sunflower or an exploding star. The ocean was wet under my feet, cold and hard, like nature wanting to be unfriendly, wanting people to go away or be content with walking under sunshine, walking on cold sand beaches. Be content without drilling into earth, drilling into the Gulf of Mexico where oil will spill on marine life, on birds that had not been shot already by people, eating turtle soup from endangered turtles harvested for their shells, thrown over on shorelines to struggle on their backs until death or slaughter took their souls. The sun was hard, unyielding, and unforgiving on its human dependence, killing their mother, nourished by her rays, while sun and water, air and land ask only to be as we might be. Laughter, dance, song, upon green and blue and yellow, sapphire life, yellow straw, faded thoughts under hot sun, walking on cold sand, isolated pleasures, seeking only being, allowing the hard sun to warm and soften her children, accepting what is, like coffee in the morning, accepts you, draining its cup, and seeks nothing. Okay. All right, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do the Sam songs, but anyway, air. Where is air? Meaning, there a hare asks the question of Alice slipping into the wells of wishes under a rainbow, forgetting directions. Where is up? Wells sink upwards through water. She drinks mushrooms, eats cool liquid, floating upwards, turning inwards, turning, spinning towards her ghost of chances, dances in the moonlight, past the ravaged dunes of no one knows who, built from bones of ancestors and ancient ideas, now forgotten, sought in fragments of lost time, rainbows double helix, souls and soils in dunes of yesteryear now buried under ticky-tacky towers, poison gardens drowned in plastic, cool water flowing upwards seeking air, like beetles burying themselves in fallen logs with just a hair-sized tube to inhale life. The earth exhales detritus of lost ages, pages through all history. Where is air? Down the rabbit hole, seeking in vain through sand of land. Her gnarled hand digs deep and weeps for all her children lost. Digs on through lichen dust and moss to open into spirit, to fill her lungs with spirit to inhale for all her children to inhale and start again through death to life. Flow through the rabbit hole to new dimensions, spirit world, air. Okay, so you'll learn a song real fast and maybe you'll be able to sing it. It goes, I love the ocean, I love the shore, I love the sand and the seagulls that soar. I love the waves so wide and free. I love the seaside. I love the sea. All right, you're going to sing that. Sandy Sand was sitting on the mountainside, afraid that he'd grow up to be a big landslide. A little fishy told him of a place where they'd be free to sing a song together by the shining sea. I love the ocean, I love the shore, I love the sand and the seagulls that soar. I love the waves so wide and free. I love the seaside, I love the sea. Sammy saw his sisters saying, come, let's have a whoop. And soon they both were tumbling down their happy mountain brook. So Sammy and his sister found their friends and family, and now they sing together by the shining sea. I love the ocean, I love the shore, I love the sand and the seagulls that soar. I love the waves so wide and free. I love the seaside, I love the sea. There are two more verses. A saucy seagull sat upon the ocean's crest. Please keep my ocean clean so I can have some rest. Keep gas and oil and chemicals away from me, so we can sing together by the shining sea. I love the ocean, I love the shore, I love the sand and the seagulls that soar. I love the waves so wide and free. I love the seaside, I love the sea. It takes a lot of sand grains just to make a city block. A lot of sand, a lot of stone, a lot of rock. Down there by the seaside, all the sand sings happily, because they found their destiny beside the shining sea. I love the ocean, I love the shore, I love the sand and the seagulls that soar. I love the waves so wide and free. I love the seaside, I love the sea. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now, let me just adjust this so I can be adjustable. Do not do this at home. We are professionals. All right, am I good? All right.
Fair to Midland.
Thank you. So if you are not familiar with the Haight-Ashbury Literary Arts Journal, you probably could be and should be, and I decided, since we had them here, wasn't it the fourth? Yeah. So I'm going to read a few selected short pieces from this very fine journal. So this is called Subversive, and it's by Will Walker, who is from San Francisco, California. Because living is a tricky business, I bless the earth while I can by morning light, hoping to emulate the finches flocking up the trellis out back, an upturned forest of star jasmine and bougainvillea, shades of green not yet in bloom where the finches seem content to perch and sing and fly to another perch. With no pattern I can discern, announcing daylight and affirming all that has led me to watch them in their busy work. The unthinking embrace of any available branch, the glide through sunlight, the song of no occasion. Will Walker. And this is by our current poet laureate, Kim Shuck. There's a couple in here. I'm going to read of hers. This first one is Our Grasp. It's been too long since a quiet day, nosed at the cozy evening in this kitchen. We hold like limpets to rocks that we will call hope, and our grasp, vital, doesn't remember us. Our worry is an unwanted spice, a gasp at the light flicker in the entry hall. How do you struggle image to image and walk out the other side to a sweet calm? My clothes are woven with the smoke of dead homes, my fingers iced with prayer from an eastern river. And this one is by Indigo Hotchkiss, also from San Francisco, California. And this is her piece, His Presence. All my life I carried around an absence, like longing, which manifested as a body full of ragged edges, a brown, rugged bear of a man I loved, who cooked Mexican beans, hot peppers, and fermented the juiced apples from a tree in the woods where we lived. He appeared from the darkest corner of my life, which always had riveted my attention, and cornered me on the couch to read me his poetry written in pencil in old school notebooks I later typed for him. When we moved to the city, he taught gourmet cooking on the hot plate to single men in the Tenderloin hotels. We lived underground in a fourth-floor apartment and put on dinners for poets. His body held the Korean War, prisons and addictions, a body so solid I forgot he was a fragile human. And now that he's gone, his presence lingers in his absence, a protection and warmth I still carry. Thank you. Indigo Hotchkiss. Very Larry Argent. All right, who's after that?
She started it, right?
Yeah, she was one of the originators. Oh, we got Richard May, then the cursive, then Mark Joseph, then our feature. So just so you know who's coming up and when and where and how and why and what. Richard, a round of applause. Oh, you're gonna move to the side? Okay, all right.
So, got a couple of pieces by the Bard, and I'm not talking about the Bard of the Lower Haight, but Shakespeare. Yeah. And you guys have probably heard these before, and hopefully I can remember them. Romans, countrymen, lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and remember mine honor, that you may believe. Censor me in your wisdom, and awake your senses that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves, than that Caesar were dead and to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. As he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so vile that would not love their country? If any speak, for him have I offended. I pause for a reply. The reply. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus have told you that Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says that he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He has brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet, he says that he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man.
The cursive writer.
Sorry about that. I just want to make sure. Here on the list. I just want to make sure.
Oh, you want to use this? Just get close to it so we can hear you. Your wonderful, beautiful, dulcet tones.
Is that how I do it? Is that? Thank you for the instructions, sir.
Well, you know, if it
You are my
wasn't for me, I
guide.
wouldn't be here.
You are my teacher.
Thank you.
You are my guru. You are my.
You are my sunshine.
You are my cult leader.
Ooh, cult leader.
Cult leader.
I can start making money.
David Erdreich is going to be joining me, ladies and gentlemen.
On the sax.
All right. Mothers looking for new life. One wonders how far human life will go. How far can we take it? And to what end? Hey, we don't even know. Most play it by ear. Gut. Let me tell you a story. That's what we have here. Stories. Blow your sax, Earl. Blow! Spaces have their own story, as in space music.
How far will our stories go, and how long will they travel? Will a little wear become threadbare, or notice at all? Mothers looking for news stories from new life isn't too happy about the two-legged's directions. Mother's injuries fester from our neglect. Looking for life, producers helping, not hindering. In plans, holding life, we're safer, survive. Even the mother passes, no stranger to near-death experiences, but has come back renewed. Two-legged has his art, life, and expression, from the highs to the lows, then back from the madness, joy renewed. Dogs bark, coyote yips, wolf yells, howls, crawl and king snake hisses. Strut the cock needs a little help. They spread the words to the mother awake and in dreams, giving fair warnings. Will the two-legged hear? Listen. Mother's looking. How is it? What kind of animals slaughter big animals on safari? Set up for the kill? How do they feel so big, powerful? Consider themselves human. All that for the thrill. Defenders of what? Is there a purpose for all this killing? Not for the food, sport, real estate, resources. So you can show all your cohorts that you can still get it up, wet. Wild is disappearing as you've needed for Viagra increases. Keeping it hard is manly, it defines. Killers of heartbeats, wild human hearts lay flatline from their manliness. Death comes to the passing. How is it in your never learned empathy, never understood it will come for your manliness one day? People, fauna, are not for your killings, pleasures, with your air of inferiority. Ransom pays the price to prove in your mind you're a man of bravery, superiority. Beware the night. Death awakens. Sleeping jaguars looking for weak men like you. You will not hear until the guttural sound, then silence. That's how it is.
You heard about those lions that knocked out a team of poachers?
Yeah.
That was like wild.
Yeah.
All
right. Here comes those two-legged again.
Darn it.
Here comes those two-legged again, making another ruckus. What is it this time, Lou wonders? Watching them plunder everything, including their own? Some seem happiest when inflicting as much pain as possible. Lucifer would love to prosecute, but then Lucifer gave that up all years ago. After all, Lou's karma always runs over the two-legged's dogma, and what dogma they have. Yeah, here comes those two-legged again. Seems that they will never get along. Lou watches them as they divide themselves, killing as they want. Everything else is discarded, including humans, the least expensive of all. Though Lou has noticed that there are indigenous cultures who eschew this line of genetically altered thinking. The gods seem to sanction this, and they wonder why Lucifer ran screaming from these mad dogs. Humanity's misbegotten. Lou tries to prod the two-legged, but like badly acted sci-fi movies, they don't improve. Lou doesn't interfere, but it's Lou gets blamed. And that ruckus, well, it just keeps going on and on and on. So I'm unable to calm down after centuries of privilege. Unable to calm down. Sea of tranquility looks more like a little rough for them. This could be dangerous. See how the warning signs run. See how they run.
Nicely done. And Cursor Rider backed up by David E. for excellence. Are you ready over there, Mr. Martin Joseph, for crying out loud? And then we'll have our feature coming up after this man. Patrice, after him is you. I'll get up there and say some words which will embarrass us all, and then we'll take care of business tomorrow. Give this man a round of applause, if you dare. The man after his own mic.
Good evening, Sacred Grounds.
Good evening, Martin Joseph, for God's sakes.
I've got a full house tonight. Good evening, Sacred Grounds.
What'd you say? Huh? Huh?
Now I can hear you.
What?
Except for this guy.
I know, I never stop.
I went to New Jersey this past month to see my granddaughter's graduation from elementary.
Oh, very nice.
I came back and I wrote this poem for her. It's called Overlap of Time. You are not me, and I am not you. Yet there is a connection. There is a commonality. For now, there is a time of overlap. You are just beginning to step through the ages of life. I am studying the end game, trying to play it as well as I can. You will know parts of me here and other parts when you are older. By then, I may be past the time of overlap. You will see me first as an old man, just as I saw you first as a newborn. I see you move forward, so far to tweener, but not long to young woman. Although there's quite a bit of playing to do first. You will see me go from grandpa to ex-grandpa. Later, you will read some more of my poems, possibly even the letters. That may all take a while. You will meet the younger me in these things, long after you have met the endgame playing old man. It is about halfway through this time of overlap. The you that you will become, I will get to see a part of, and whatever that part is enough. I already know how exceptional you will become. I just don't know yet exactly at what or how it will happen. Right now, I can see all the building blocks in place. I'll leave you with a universe to explore and enjoy, a world that will contain wonders, one that plays Aretha Franklin songs for background music with an occasional blast of Bruce Springsteen. Sometimes, perhaps, even one of my songs. You will create new songs of your own from the wellspring of new ideas that will surround you and that you will generate. You will stand on the shoulders of those who stood on the shoulders of those who stood on the shoulders of those who did the same, ever since there were people on this continent. You are all of us, though we know that we are not you, and you are not any of us. You are you, the unique combination that has never existed before since the beginning of time. Our overlap is in the mind. It is in the playful spirit, the unending observations and questions. It is in the use of words to channel feelings and to reach beyond, to shoot the arrow and hit a target that no one else can see.
Thank you, Mark Joseph. Oh, I have to introduce you. So we'll just make sure I'm here because she's tall, and then we'll take care of it. You can get ready.
Mike is going to need eventually to be on the other side, but that's okay.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that's very special. I've always enjoyed this person and her performances. I say performances because she's a singer, songwriter, poet, musician, a heartfelt healer. She uses her skills, her artistic talents to help people heal. She goes to hospitals and plays this beautiful, beautiful, I'll say that one more time, beautiful, beautiful music.
It's nice,
And
beautiful, beautiful.
moves through the hallways, these hospital hallways. And when I was in the hospital, I knew where I was, but that smell of cleanser and all those other kinds of stuff, and the noise and the sound and the silence. But imagine a situation like that, and you hear the heavenly, wafting, drifting notes moving softly through all the hard corners that a hospital can be made of, the doors and the square windows and the beeping machines and all that. And then this brown, beautiful flow of auditory input. And the poetry is good, the music is good. So rather than have me do this, she's going to take this microphone and organize it the way she likes it, and I'm going to sit down over there and I will let you enjoy Patrice Hahn's beautiful, tremendous performance.
So then, I guess, how do
So
you
then
want?
we just need to put this on the other side of me.
The other side of you, all right. Make sure the wires are guided.
Guided wires. There we go. Good. That's fabulous.
All right, now he's gonna pull back here and focus.
Do this. This. Thank you for your patience.
Worth it.
You have to tune it like a guitar now.
I'm not going to do that now because the 34 strings are going to take a little while.
Take a minute.
That's great. I just have to say, I'm honored to be in your company. It's a good place to be. Thank you. And I'm particularly moved by the amount of music tonight. There's the music of word, of language, of voice, and the additional music of instruments is just a joy. Thank you. My habit is to attempt to weave a something. So another breathless day. Maybe it's late summer. The tulip tree, stunned in the motionless air, can scarcely hold the sky in place. Mortar cracks between paving stones, the patio too scorching for feet, and Helen steps gingerly to her little plot. 4 or 5 rows of radicchio marbled red and green. Carefully, she cuts 2 rosettes close to the sandy gray soil, leaves enough color for another head to regrow. In the tiny kitchen, she rinses each leaf, mindful of sand, worm damage, drains them in the green plastic colander, trims the stems, cuts the leaves against her thumb with the old red-handled knife, places the leaves in a wooden bowl, a few slivers of sweet red onion, a splash of the old world olive oil her mother used, a benediction of wine vinegar from mismatched stoppered cruets, 17 grains of salt from the metal shaker that sits on the stove back. Then, with wooden spoons, she turns the leaves, slowly, gently. Her elegant fingers mesmerize, long, narrow, pale, tapered. Botticelli's model makes salad for supper.
Beautiful.
Come into the garden with me. I cannot tell you how to look. I cannot tell you how to see. I'm only asking you, set down your work and come into the garden with me. Come into the garden with me. Lilies sing with open throats. Lilacs drift in perfume sea. Take off your glasses, hang up your apron, come into the garden with me. Gentlemen robins are washing their waistcoats and flapping their feathers to dry. The arbor is shady and oh so inviting for lovers to linger and sigh. Come into the garden with me. I won't say another word, for the best kind of gazing is free. Free of demand or instruction, I'm asking just this. Come into the garden
So I can see your face. That would be there you go.
Morning sun walks into the grape arbor, handles the leaves, a foment of celadon glass. And in the border, one yellow flag flares in the breast of a dense honor guard, bronze sword tips. Young Joan amid her soldiers, like the name of God written in yellow silk. So do we all hide, or are found. And so we long to answer what we perceive is a divine call. So we are burned up in a furnace of trying. But for one moment, before we lose heart or the pain overcomes us, God, we shine. A small hawk flutters in the acacia, clutched in his hooked talons, the drooping wings of a mourning dove whose heart he has broken open and eaten. Pearl gray feathers float down. The softest tears are ravishing. In the country fairs of the 20s, biplanes would fly. The planes that were used for spraying crops. And people would walk on the wings as a feat of daring. The thing you need to know if you're a wing walker is to always have the next handhold before you let go of the first. Seems like good advice. Wing walker, hand wringer, terrifying risk taker. High in the sky, hold fast as we circle and die. Dream maker, dream maker. Cloud stalker, wind walker, death defying fear braver. I dare to fly, my heart's in my mouth, but I sing hand waver. I could be earthbound, but I choose to be chasing around heaven's front yard. The sky fills my eyes, the horizon is down below. Wing walker, dare taker, cloud chaser, star raker. Gamble your gold. You've nothing to lose but your fear. Sleep waker, dream maker. Outside, beyond the world framed by my window, roses nod, grasses dance, grapevine tendrils sway like tassels. Acacia trees gesture grandly. A whirlpool of sky spins lazily over the neighbor's roof. And miniature birds perched on the tip-top of the ancient walnut tree swivel their tiny heads, surveying more than I can see. I want to feel this wind on my skin, let it lift my hair, trace my features, my arms, open my hands. I am longing for touch. Leaves shudder. The pinwheel clouds tumble toward dusk. Constituted from birds, you animate the air with gentle light. Glance, lift up your eyes. Clouds embroider the western hills with feathers of foil. Overhead, a halo of blue. The air shimmers red gold, now silver. Green undertones at your throat, purple in the contours of your face. Your arms lift in response, waving like wings. Blackbirds croak homeward, erratic. The sun is blinking on the horizon. My love, my love. Once, twice, gone. But you stand unconcerned, still adding water to the saucer of the backyard bird bath. I don't know if it's because it's my birthday tomorrow, but I am assailed by memory.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. And I'm old enough now that I got me a fair number of memories.
Hey!
Been working on it. Mama's calling from the kitchen. Time to go in. Oh, not yet. Oh, not yet. Daddy's coming, set the table. Time to go in. Oh, not yet. One more cycle round the block. One more scamper up the tree. One more rover call you over. Beanie, beanie, miny. Mama's calling from the screen door. Time to go in. Oh, not yet. Oh, not yet. Daddy's home. Supper's ready. Time to go in. Oh, not yet. One more Robin Hood and Marion. One more, nope, cops and robbers, G.I. Joe. One more ring around the rosy. I'll fall down and then we'll go. But Mama's standing on the back porch, calling our names. In her, I mean business, way. Daddy's waiting, supper's ready. Time to go in. One more hopscotch, one last glance through the screen door. Wash your hands. Day is done. Gone the sun. It's the end of the day. Someone else remembers.
You got a hit on your hands.
In my neighborhood, the 4th of July commences 2 weeks before the 4th of July and ends a week after the 4th of July. And you get points if you can blow up something that's big enough that it will set off every alarm of every car. It's a little stressful. The house shudders. I stagger from room to room. Pounding light splinters the dark sky. Explosions shatter the night. Stars shriek, flares keen, pinwheels wail, and the rockets, God, those glaring rockets. Hour after jagged hour, an army of timpani traps me. There is no relief. Maybe I'm the only one sober in this city of drunks. Drunk on sound, drunk on distraction. Call it a party, call it a drug. Call it what it is. Bread and circuses.
Hey!
Unbelievers' fire and brimstone made the smoke of this sacrifice be pleasing in the nostrils of the gods. Call me a wet rag. Call me a taxi. I was thinking about training. We do our best, and we learn stuff as we go. So I wrote a song that might be for a kid. Can't just go around bashing folks. They're teaching us that in school. You have to think of their feelings, obey the golden rule. And even when you're all grown up and drive a fancy car, you still have to practice kindness, no matter who you are, no matter who you are. Can't just go around spreading tales and saying you never did. You have to treat all the others. Ask any little kid. And even when you're all grown up and travel near and far, you still have to practice kindness, no matter who you are, no matter who you are. No one is so important that they can just ignore the little ways we can take care of each of us. We all could be more kind. We could be more kind. And you can't just go around telling lies and saying you never did. You've got to set an example, ask any little kid. So by the time you're all grown up and practicing your au revoir, the world might just be a better place because of who you are, because of who you are. Even when you're all grown up and someone else drives your car, you still have to practice kindness, no matter who you are, no matter who you are. When I was trying not to be so, thank you. When I was trying not to be so, well, I decided I can't listen to the news at least one day a week right now. But when I was trying to figure out how to be a better neighbor and practice kindness, I thought I would count my blessings, and that's what this prayer is. Bless the rising sun, tea and toast, showers and clean clothes. That fierce dog that announces every passing walker and car. Bless the warbling robin. And bless the midday sun, the pause, the unfurling back and straightening up. Bless shovel and pen and paintbrush and calculator, the sorting and solving mind. Bless the mockingbird's variable voice. Bless the sun's descent. Bridges and buses, the 1,000 cars and their determined drivers, the scheming traffic, the turquoise sky. Bless the ginger cat that guards the gate, and that sentinel hummingbird grinding pepper at the walnut summit. Bless sunset, the painted clouds and twilight sky, the yellow kitchen, sharp knives, candles, and apples. Bless the harmony of soup and rowdy salad. Bless shadows and night scent and crows cracking and gargling in the pine tree. Bless the dark, the wink of stars, the lying down, the curling together. Bless the doves muttering prayers in the eaves. Bless sleep.
She has some CDs here, so she'll talk to her at the break. We're gonna go on a break right now, 5-ish minutes. So talk to her. This camera will still be working, but it'll be facing this wall. Just so you know. Because if I turn it off, then it starts processing, and God knows what happens after that. So, see, I put it over here, so it got you even better as time went on. So. Thank you so much. Let me just make sure it's just showing this wall here. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's showing this wall. And thank you for sharing the food. That was very good. I appreciate it. Huh? Oh, I thought it was yours. Oh.
I think it was him.
This guy?
This guy right here.
Oh, him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's nice sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over and harass him. No, you know, because you're You're in production.
More trips than you do.
Whereas I'm just kind of like going.
So thank you. Hospital, I think it's called UCSF Hospital. Yes. I actually work, believe it or not, a block away from Jewish Family and Children's Services. I do IT there, and I see her all the time.
No, she
I
has
thought
not.
it was you. I see a heart player in the lobby.
She has to be someplace while we're doing this. Otherwise, she would get.
I'm actually there for breakfast, like at 8 o'clock sharp, like almost every day. And I just want to let you know you're
Good thing I read my email.
really good. Really, lyrics are beautiful. Your marketing is really
Come this way here, please. And just
I don't know if I'm running yet though, but I have a bunch of material.
Then it's you have 5 minutes, so you get up and just do what you want to
I
do.
have one idea for maybe something I'll do.
Okay, so write it really clearly so we don't say anything.
Okay. And where does it start?
Where it starts up here, but we're now that was the future just now. So.
You're somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, have you ever been there before?
Thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
So,
Good thing I have
what
some
you look
time.
for now, you see that?
Yeah, I mean, she just finished, so we have to go through that. Totally beautiful. Really soothing too, like.
As you're going down 35, there's this little.
I know, that's a good idea.
Across the lake.
I'm gonna check too, yeah.
And the instructions they sent you, like as you're driving in, you see these buildings. It's not. You go farther, and there's there used to be a gate. There's still a post, maybe you go through that, lines around, and it takes you to a nice looking building with a big car dealership. I've never written a song for the weekend, but I might. Yeah, just the other place has a parking lot too. It's just not as nice. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have my car.
Okay, then I'll just call you.
And how are you? Would you like to read? Okay, yes, we do. Just put your name right. As they say in France, good to see you. Sure. Yeah, I don't know exactly all the people that are coming in the email when I send you sound effects for me anytime. Denise, Patsy, Linda, me, and Rick, and then maybe Lily and Nate Parker. I don't know. Give you
Did you ever hear, when I was little, there was a book called Jerk and Joe. More than that, I think actually it was Dr. Seuss. You're only one of them that not speak. Martin Joseph, you knew every single sound he heard. You're only going one, I think I had it when I was about 4.
Coming back in one more.
And it said wait for that, right until melt time.
That's great. So what I'm gonna do is, there was one moment where the counter on the camera was going, but the picture froze. But I've been told that when it does that, it's okay, it's just doing something, don't worry about it. And so what I'm gonna do is, what I like to do is
That's why I did all the,
it'll be like a YouTube, say, doing this. I don't do that all the time, but I do it constantly. And here I am in my own stellar performance. Who are you talking about? That's good.
Gerald McBoyd.
Yeah, I remember. Who was that?
It was an early Dr. Seuss What?
Sorry.
Oh, Jim back. Oh, did perfect. And he was Mr. Magoo, but I didn't realize he was Fred Flintstone. Without a cause. Oh, I'm thinking of Easton. Yeah, Bacchus was good. He was good. I married Joan. Oh, you come from minutes. Really? Yeah. Here's one Gilligan.
Yeah. I wrote it. Yeah.
There's more to come. I haven't even done it. Oh, August 1st. Is that your?
I like drawing your numbers. You still might miss out if you do 1 month on something. At least, really not that good at the same time. Yes.
That's right, before my show.
Oh, I'm going to what would you like? Oh, anything that says
Get back to our bar. Let's see.
Like this one.
Well, to be or not to be. So we got that the same.
So many right-wing questions, so few No, see. Every time I say something. I wasn't listening.
I'm through with you.
I think you heard this. You never hear me. We're all married couples.
Hey. Thank you. We're going to get ready in just a couple of minutes. I'm on the microphone because no one else is.
A little bigger now.
So it's Rob, Antoinette, and then me. I'm number 16.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I was sooner than that.
Oh, that's pretty good. You got
Yeah.
on there. You
I got 1, 2, 3.
You got you covered.
4. I'm the 4th. No, 5th. 1, 2. No, I don't know what I have. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Don't count the other guy that's not here no more, huh?
What do you say? How do you pronounce the mythical river? The Greek river. Is it Leth or Lethe?
More or less.
I would say Leaf.
Leaf, you see, he knows nothing. He's Irish.
I would say, but
Irish. Leaf. He'd say Leaf. That's what he'd say.
That's what I'd say.
He'd say Leaf.
I'd say
it has
Leaf.
nothing to do with what you've written down there.
You know what you could do if you had someone with a computer over here, like the Mr. Person writer over there.
Don't take a leaf.
You could find out. You could find.
Take a leaf.
Actually, you know, someone else, like this man over here, might know. Leaf, Lethe, the old river. The name for it, Leaf. Is it Left? Leaf? I think it's Leaf. I would go with Leaf. Wikipedia.
Where is it? Wikipedia.
Well, he knows. It's in a poem and he wants to say it the right way. Leaf. Leaf. We got Leith or Leith. That's what he's saying. But, yeah. But, no, I wouldn't go with Lethe. That sounds...
Which county is it?
Wikipedia. Someone should access Wikipedia. The name of a river, Lethe. It's Greek. And I'm saying Leith. Lethe?
That's what I've always heard. River of forgetfulness.
Hey, he's saying it's Lethe. The river of forgetfulness?
Yeah.
Okay, he's saying Lethe.
Lambda,
That's a Chinese poet. That's not the...
Theta. Well, according to this, you do pronounce the E. Looks like you do pronounce the E.
just in case you need it spelled out in Greek.
Yeah, okay. I'll go with Lethe.
You got some Greek. We're not speaking Greek.
It's Greek to me. Remember that joke? I remember that joke.
That's from
Oh no, I'm using that.
Oh, you're using it. Sorry.
It's perfect.
It's perfect? I thought it's a chair. It's a bench. Do you want this someplace?
Yeah, it slows down and just
Why don't you get this and I'll get you organized here. I'm gonna.
Yes.
Long dirt nap. It's sleeping.
Okay. Let me move these.
It's in my poem that I'm going to read, and I need to know how to pronounce it.
Glasses go. Let me see how. Where right? These right here.
You're both a little higher.
Oh,
you did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
Guess what?
Where'd my glasses go?
This is a small enough space that it's.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get their attention for you and.
Here.
I'm going to get their attention for you. I'm going to recite the lyrics by John Prine, partial lyrics to one of his favorite poems, favorite song of mine, of his that I like. And they're all the whole song. Well, while he's getting it and you're sitting down, I shall recite. Ahem. I woke up this morning, put on my slippers, went into the kitchen, and I died. But oh, what a feeling when my soul rose through the ceiling and I went up onto heaven for a ride. When I got there, they did say, John, it happened this way. You slipped upon the floor and hit your head. But all the angels there, this is what they heard. These are the last words that you said. Please don't bury me in the cold, cold ground. I'd rather have you cut me up and pass me all around. Throw my brain into the hurricane. The blind can have my. Give my eyes to the blind so they can see. The deaf can cast my mind into a hurricane. My eyes can go to the blind, and my deaf can have the ears, but they may be too big. I hope they don't mind. Something like that. Anyway, those are the only parts that I know. Now we're ready for him. I tried to get everything quiet, and he's here. This is Rob. Give him a round of applause, please.
Hello there. When I found out last week that we could do covers here, I was very excited. Not that I would normally consider doing a cover in this wonderful space, unless it were something that you had never heard before. And that's what I'm gonna do right now. We'll be divided into two parts. The first, this is not a Beatles medley, this is an ex-Beatles medley. And the first entry combines George's lyrics and some lyrics that Nina Simone added when she did her version, and some of my own lyrics. So it's a mix of all three. And the second entry is what I like to consider how the song might have turned out had John and Paul still been writing partners in the 70s. Isn't it a pity? Isn't it a shame that how we break each other's hearts and cause each other pain? How we take each other's love without thinking anymore, forgetting to give back. Isn't it a pity? Now some things take so long, so how can I explain when not too many people can see we're all the same? of all our tears, our eyes can't hope to see the beauty that surrounds us. Isn't it a pity? Isn't it a pity? Isn't it a shame? We kill each other's souls, chasing our own goals, and how we find each other's fears, but then we slam the door, never looking back. Isn't it a pity? Someone knocking at the door, somebody's ringing the bell. Someone knocking at the door, somebody's ringing the bell. Do me a favor, open the door and let 'em in. Yeah, yeah. Someone knocking at the door, somebody's ringing the bell. Someone knocking at the door, somebody's ringing the bell. Do me a favor, open the door and let 'em in. Yeah, yeah. Single mommies, the dirty commies, the non-binary, the Tea Party, the refugees, the radical women. Open the door and let 'em in. Someone's knocking at the door, somebody's ringing the bell. Someone's knocking at the door, somebody's ringing the bell. Do me a favor, open the door and let 'em in. Yeah, yeah. All the homeless and the pacifists, domestic abusers and junkies and abusers, the veterans, the lesbians, open the door and let 'em in. The KKK, the WNBA, the pedophiles, the crocodiles, the CEOs, the Jews and Muslims. Open the door, let 'em in. Someone's knocking at the door, somebody's ringing the bell. Someone's knocking at the door, somebody's ringing the bell. Do me a favor, open the door and let 'em in.
Thank you, Rob. He will be back to close out the second half. This is the job of the last word, opening it up and shutting it on down. The second show of the evening. And now my co-host Antoinette Payne is coming up here. We got Bob Gordon coming out of Colamecca, Don David out of Mini, Jake Patterson, who is new, Evie, Sharon Scott Kish. This says APL. We'll get to that. Abby, and then Nicole, then Joseph, then Rob, as they say.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to read three. A couple of these I've read before, but I've tweaked them so they're new. But I'll start with a brand new one. And this one, my cousin passed away last week, so this is for her. 4 of us came of age, mid-century births, 1 year apart. Live alone, assume solitary death in Magalia. When she was 3, we met. Let me plaid skirt, red sweater, walked on glittered pavement in the financial district. Loud cats call, coroner says, natural clauses, no one really knows. Blossomed in the Richmond 1964, blue motorcycle cop dad pulled the 21 over for fun, ordered us off at Cleopatra's billboards, Alexandria Theater on Gary. Summer Suburbs 1969, crashed my 65 Mustang while drunk on stolen whiskey. Fun mini-skirted mascara love and glitter girl, bought 5 acres rent to own, lived with George and 30 dogs off the grid in Oroville. Died alone in Magalia, where she can sit on a wind-blown bench, watch tiny white surf at her feet, talk to gulls. Part of me dies with each. Memories pass, survives sicknesses, replacement parts. I am last man standing.
Whoa.
All words ever said worldwide through time belong to poets. Inspiration shines, resonate out. Passion resides at home, laid upon another, a fragile kindness offered like sweetness of your tongue on mine. Desire shows up still subject to interpretation. Blue jay with eggcorn in mouth winked from another sphere. Sure that was you looking through God's eyes. Horse carriage galloping without reins finds her way back, revolving over under layers of love. And lastly, you are my space of Thanksgiving in this lonely hotel room with radio playing at night. Red kisses, joyous oranges, waiting on sad dresser all day to come home to pounding love. Music perfect, sad, unreasonably extreme. Smooth pools welcome knife thrusts vividly in rough carved heart. When foggy afternoon leaves slash ocean wind through solid blue cloudless sky, made for climbing along coasts, ridges along our made for climbing along coast ridges on our own island. Past top rail we see goats in rocky meadow, each as white as sails, small ones running off to edge into wind, then back over dauntless yellow grass flowers, old ones ears lifted for words to arrive over waves.
That is the co-host of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Keeping me on the straight and narrow, the steady beat of pages. Okay, Bob, you're next. You're gonna help him? Good. Let me just move this forward, and that way you have no more room.
Don't adjust the mic, it's fine.
There you go. Got it. There you got it.
All right, I'm going to read 2 poems with some introduction. In the Jewish culture, in which there is a religion, and to which most people are referring when they refer to Judaism, there's a thing called mitzvot, which means kindnesses to other people. And it is a mainstay of the culture and the spiritual practice. And I have a roommate who happens to be Kurdish, and his aim in life is to make people happy and to bring out the best in them. He's 32, and he was thrown out of Iran because of his insurrectionist art. And this is the culture he came to. And this is a poem about the culture as I see that he came to. Posed amongst the wild rhythms of decay, with rhythms of decay underlined. Pictured in the born-to land of creature, thing unnatural and all natural as well, as the era of the light expels all progress too. And as later waits poor liaisons, comparing nothing ever drifts the same. Fiction, legend, myth, children of dead histories, While warmth freezes and seasons shift awry, stands he twirling hands and arms perplexed, exclaims the land's duress with withered growth, complaining with weathered throat the laugh of death, constraint which believes no wise but dumb secrets stored. So goes the wind, go the stars' motion, and all light, to move around as carousels of breathy universe, toward and reverse and upward, downward fly. So goes the ancient sky in questions to arrive. Nowhere, anywhere, no one cares a bit of any this. And all the populace ride gases into atmosphere, like queer herds of particles seeking freedom's best, till all have come to air of dust and dying years, till everything complying flies down to earth, and here the empty time of matter lost in space, assure creation's waste that use will assure depletion. O dancers, foxtrotters, cha-cha-chas, writhe apace, for soul is lost and heart gives out, retreat of senses lost, the race. And this poem, I saw a young black man wobbling down the street I live on. He was quite drunk, and he didn't even seem to know what street he was on. It's a side street. And I wrote this to the world that refuses to let that young man be himself. It's called Oh. There was a poem on Market and Church on the plaque on the bus stop that's called Oh. The poem is Sooner Than I Thought, and this is also called Oh. Black mothers, what have you done or doing to your children? You who would be everyone, what will they say when the Eucharist pot spills then a woman on the supper plate? Will they know what they eat? Will the black liquor be meat, O blackened man, for whose toddlers beg the quaking street to palm their aching hearts? Black saviors crying, cry not how my skin reflects the long and arduous sun. We can only dream towards a brave skylight, through tall damp reeds, what one day may walk right amongst a right people, singing. Now a man leans on the steeple, wanting only to have been this women, children like the rest who dwell in heaven. O black haters and accusers, what is the meaning of your prosody in Jesus' sight? You soldiers of the night, must we not lead to God what way by break of day is right?
Gordon, Tommy, and Dawn, and David, and Jake, and Evie. There you go. Give them a round, please.
Okay.
Try to watch your time, folks. Tell it didn't close. Tell it like it was. It should be. Yes. Sorry. Stop.
Vesuvius was never dormant for very long at our dinner table. The evening news on the old black and white TV in the corner of the kitchen always sent Papa into a rant about hippies, anti-war protesters, and the impending collapse of Western civilization. That ended with his badgering me about the length of my hair. It wasn't that long, considering that Father Cox at Bishop Newman High School pulled me into his office and cut it when it touched the back of my shirt collar. Mama didn't even try to referee, yelling, "State zita! Shut the hell up!" at the top of her lungs when the words flew like stones and settled in our stomachs, causing agita, the aggravation no antacid could relieve. The person who shouted the loudest, interrupted the most, and persisted the longest, usually Papa, won the round. The rest of us just threw our arms up in resignation. I can't remember what we were discussing the night that Papa hurled the plate of spaghetti, the sauce forming what looked like streams of Jesus's blood down the wall underneath the paint by numbers Last Supper I did as a boy. Perhaps it was my pronouncement that I was an atheist. Some people went to primal therapy, screaming away their pain. We sat down to dinner.
Now that's therapy.
Yeah, tell me about it. The river Lethe runs in your veins, America. You've become the man behind the curtain, quoting Bible verses to cover your every sin. Too many to count. Good thing the good book has seldom been used for good. Your spin doctors work overtime. They're paid 30 pieces of silver. They can't show their faces in restaurants, but they're welcome at all the right parties and on the golf courses. Truth is fake news. Lies are facts. It's a wonder anyone can know what's up, what's down. You know how to keep them from figuring it all out. There are no depths to which you won't sink. You have no sense of shame, no remorse. America, there's someone knocking at your door. It could be destiny or karma. Lady Liberty's ripped the plaque from the platform she stands on. She's tired of you. There's a mob outside. No wall to protect you. I see pitchforks in your future. And I'm going to end. I think I have a minute, right?
Yeah, about.
Okay, I'm going to end on this poem. It was 30 years ago that I was driving up to Bucks County. I was in Philly. I was a reporter, and I was covering the trial of these guys who had murdered Anthony Milano, who was a gay man who had been murdered by them. He was an immigrant Italian boy, and I very much identified with him, and I remember driving home with another reporter every day from Bucks County back to Philly, and we would weep in the car just at the sight of his immigrant parents, who were about like this tall, and they looked like my parents. And this is the poem that I wrote one day for Anthony Milano. They slashed his throat countless times, cut through his voice box, cut off his cries. Coroner could not count how many times they cut through flesh and muscle and bone, cutting off any sound except blood spurting, spinning down a drain sound. Not surprising that they cut his throat, cutting off the sound, silencing him. Thank you.
And now, since you've practiced this at least a couple of times, we have a new person coming up, Dawn Shearer. Dawn? Let's go! Hurry up, Dawn!
Rob told me about this, but he didn't tell me about the hazing.
The hazing? Oh, that was our way of saying hello. We welcome you.
Oh, I appreciate
You got off
that.
easy.
That's great. That's so wonderful.
My voice is gone.
If I do this. I've heard you in full voice. That's great. not gonna wreck this, it's gonna fall. Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah, okay. For my next trick. All right, thank you. This is a privilege to be here. Sacred grounds, thanks to those.
Good.
All right. I was getting nervous. I don't know why.
We're staring at you.
I'm Don Shear. My primary project this year is to write 52 songs. That's one a week. I'm a little bit behind. I got some of the work. This is a newer song. I'm going to see if I can remember. It's probably, I'm trying to do the simplest possible thing, simple words. This is probably the most lyrical one. I saw a wounded veteran just back from the endless war, standing in line at the homeless shelter. Is this what she was fighting for? Standing in line at the homeless shelter. Is this what she was fighting for? I saw a penniless student locked outside the schoolhouse door. God said, you don't have tuition, you can't go to school no more. If you don't have tuition, you can't go to school no more. If you have tuition, you can't go to school no more. I saw a weary mother in line at the grocery store, struggling to feed her kids and wishing she could do much more. Wishing she could do so much more. Wishing she could do so much more. They built a toll booth on the road to freedom. 99% of us must pay. Seems like every day the wealthy raise the price to purchase the right of way. Why should we purchase the right of way? Why should we purchase our own right away? One play, just in the reminder. Play from right there. I saw an evicted renter, he's sleeping under the stars. The landlord bought him low and then raised the rent too far. I saw an elderly voter, she never needed proof that she's an honest, upright citizen. Now she's locked out of the voting booth. Now she's locked out of the voting booth. prison could not be left unlocked, and the guard could not go free. All right, thank you very much.
Beautiful! We're trying to do one a week, huh? Well, come back! Come back! Come back! Love it! And now our mini feature of the evening, David Erdreich. And then just so you know, we have next is Jake. You're Jake.
I'm Jake.
Okay, so after him it's you, and you're new, so you're gonna get the treatment. And we got Evie, Sharon, Abby, Nicole, Joseph, J-I, Joseph?
G.
Oh, I got you. Yes, I see that. Thank you. Just let me sure I know. We talked. I remember everything. Just don't quote me.
Is there an echo in here, or is it you?
Can I buy back my introduction to me?
Arab and Jew. To May 24th, 2017. Arab and Jew always fighting in the desert. Why can't we live in peace side by side? The Middle East, where men kill their brothers. In the U.S., where bigots can't hide. Our president would wall out the others. Fear, hate, and lies consort to divide. Women unite with sisters and brothers. Speak out for the earth, throw the covers aside. Integrity is yours to discover. Community, let the doors open wide. There appear every day obstacles in your way. Patience and silence may answer. Strive to be free like the limbs of a tree. Truth is your partner and dancer. Integrity is yours to discover. Diversity, let the doors open wide. And I have a show October 6th at Piedmont Piano, and where I make poets read to improvised music. Richard Sanderell, the Big Dano have been part of my show.
Oh, yes.
Ask them about it. I'll have flyers by a friend of mine who's a cartoonist back east hopefully next time I come around. So
It's fun.
It is fun.
okay. I'm published here, I'm appearing there, I'm featured here. Great art doesn't need a signature. So just fart out your hot air and move on down the line. Over the rise, over their eyes. Uneven ground, my feet are sound, my lips are parched, yet still I sing. Permit what's solace that I bring to enter auditory space. If in one ear and out the other, I'm your sister and your brother. My feet are sound, my heel unshod, there is or there is not a God. Your intellect is like a rock between two boulders till the shock of earthquake shakes, tosses in the air to land, who knows if and when, why, or where. My feet are sound, my dance is sure. Small of your back, your movement pure. If sinuous were sin to us, steel and iron turned to dust, then still your soul would feel the beat, aloft and winged through the heat. Beneath the ice where blood runs cold, your silver sparkle trickles, holds on tight. Toulouse-Lautrec, pointillism, every speck of matter, each meter detects or follows footprints in the snow to disappear while cold winds blow, a dusting of your favorite crust, a hint of mint in I trust. My feet are sound, my hands are rough. I'll love you till you've had enough. I can let go, I really can. If brief or elongated span, when troubled waters question worth, I'll bridge the span, touch earth to earth. My fingers tingle at your touch. You kiss my earlobes, there is such a rush of blood, a blush, a thrush. Hips together feel the crush, my feet are sound. The bump repeats, a second round, a tickle squared. Rest assured, no feeling spared. Palm to palm, whirl to whirl. Baby, crone, or teenage girl, each entity a galaxy, each star a molten core, each burn, each yearn, each ashen urn, like tip of your cigar, has fallen into mold of leaf, has found the fungus, shed the grief, get over hump, and feel the thump. My feet are sound, my heart is gold, my wisdom never needs to scold. My patience swears through thick and thin, so be it, endings, let's begin to taste the toe jam peanut butter. Thank each father and each mother, one single birth, one soul, could save the earth. My feet are sound. What are we worth? Spoonful, spoonful, everybody's gotta have a spoonful. Spoonful, spoonful. Everybody's gotta get a spoonful, yeah.
Good, right. All right. Jake. A new person, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, let's do it. Do it right. All the time, forever and ever.
Really, before I start, I didn't know what to expect when I came here. I knew this was like a long-standing thing, but I just want to say, very touched and very fortunate to be in front of you amazing artists and in front of my wonderful girlfriend, Heather, too.
Heather!
I was just going to read one, but you guys have inspired me. I'm going to go ahead and pull out my second poem. And so this is the first of the night. It is called, well, if I can open it, it's called The Fog and the Rain. And it's inspired by the fog of San Francisco and the rainy season, actually. So here it goes. On me take no pity when there's fog in the city with its gloom and its quiet mystique. For I'll sit on a hill and I'll ponder and mill about why they call days like this bleak. Wrapped in the mist, can't see in the dust, in a blanket of windy and gray. There's solitude here with the clouds low and near and the visions afar go away. In myself I can sink and hear myself think in this colorblind ocean of cloud. It's the soul food of sweet solitude in a world so incredibly loud. In the 90s, she sang with a grungy dark twang about happiness there in the rain. Well, I can relate. When I hear a storm late, I turn rapturous, joyful, insane. The rain and glass chatter, flash of antimatter, I want to be in a glass box that floats in the air with rain everywhere, ecstasy in black paradox. It pours from the heavens, the rain on glass deafens, only heating to thunderous roar. The top of I'll pry and scream at the sky as the torrent continues to pour. I'm cold but now don't tire, soaked but on fire as I howl at the angry abyss. In the violent red air, my soul I will bear, it wouldn't get better than this. Well, this poem got crazy and I'm getting lazy, so I think I'll just end it right here. The gist of the story, if it's foggy and poury, you won't catch me shedding a tear. Glad you all enjoyed that. And actually, my phone died, and I was gonna pull up my other poem on this. Y'all just, I mean, it depends.
Well, try, give it a moment there. And
Okay.
See if it comes up. If it doesn't, then we'll just, all right.
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. This apple slime goes on forever.
Oh, yeah.
Whew, that was a rush. All right. I'm gonna give it about.
Damn technology.
Hey. This phone doesn't like this microphone very much.
I know.
Okay. All right. I think it's coming up. Appreciate y'all's patience.
Well, you can come back. Could come back.
Oh, we'll be back.
You want me?
Yeah, make sure he comes back.
Oh,
He's the kind of person that might be shy.
I come back. How about that?
All right. Well, yeah, you make, and then you can get up on the mic now.
I'm next.
Ooh.
Okay, here it is.
Oh, you got it? All right.
Again, thank you for your patience. Sorry this is taking so long. I thought my phone was on. Oh, I turned it off because it was going off there.
Yeah, where's Spencer?
Alright, so looks like it's not loading. So next time.
Okay.
Next time is fine. Yeah.
Yes,
Alright, thanks.
Bye, baby! Big Sharon and Abby and Nicole. I'm trying to annoy you. I'm not even getting annoyed, trying to do my best over here. Evie.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Give Evie a round as she comes up, and then we got Sharon. And another newbie. Abby, Nicole, and Joseph, and then Rob closing us out. And if things go theoretically as I planned, then we'll end in a reasonable, good order. And these prizes will be distributed, and the world will change. Oh, sorry. The water will be fixed.
You want to sit?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, does that work? Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, here we go. Evie. You're on.
Hi, everyone.
Closer to the mic.
I got it. Stay where you are.
You, David.
Okay. How's that? That's good. I guess this took place, well, I know it took place down the street. Yeah. Okay, I am Stigmata. I am Stigmata. I will always be Stigmata. Even in shadow, bewildered night. In the bank parking lot, I am Stigmata. They brought me to the ER in the midnight storm, and a white coat with a last name as a first name. With the homeless in his blind spot, I am Stigmata. And I know all flood and all nights, and I am always given 2 Tylenol and, excuse to get some rest in the flood, in the parking lot, and I will rest, and I will rest. I am stigmata, I am stigmata, and I am stigmata. In shadow, in calm, in the lure of the dead, I am stigmata, and I still love you. That was New Year's Eve in the flood, and that really went like that in the ER. 2 Tylenol and see ya. I was able to not have someone go through that the other week, but didn't last. Anyway, I once read something that a friend wrote as sort of an academic thing, and the notion of public deaths and private deaths. Like, we will probably all have a public death, like you see me here. If I drop dead, that I will have had a public death. But if you don't have a name, or and you're outside and people die, and it's a private death, no one knows you died, and this is called I Am Tony. I died the day a famous person did. I always made sure that the spot where I slept in Golden Gate Park was unnoticeable. I rolled up my sleeping bag and concealed it from joggers. There is no sign of me to passers-by on a morning walk. Word got around that I'd had a heart attack and was taken to General Hospital. Someone in the church where I eat a weekly warm meal learned from the front desk clerk in the hospital lobby that I was never admitted, never discharged. The world is perplexing. I once meditated and studied martial arts with international masters. Gentleness and calm have always been my pillow. That's where I come rushing in from what I do Wednesday nights before I get here. So, that's the scoop. Yes.
Thank you, Evie and Sharon. Come on up. Then Abby, wave your hand. Where's that? You're Abby, right? Okay. So the remarkable Sharon Scott Kish is going to come before you now to reveal the magic of St. Louis. Isn't it St. Louis? It's not St. Louis. Kansas City, sorry. Kansas City. The magic of Kansas City, growing up there and becoming aware of who you are and why and what.
Maybe here I come.
Uh-oh.
Going to Kansas City.
Kansas City, here we come.
I heard about
ready
that.
for those kids in Kansas City?
Yes.
Okay. Tonight we're going to talk about the kids and the old man. Our theme was sand.
Yes.
Well, this is called Mr. Sandman. Mr. Crowley was one of the neighbors' organizers. Thought it would be a good idea if he and the guys went on a trip to get some sand, since in the winter it was hard to find. Every month needs at least 2 or 3 bags of sand. Maybe more later, but at least you've got to start. So we all pull into the car. Little kids, old men, big cars, Buicks, Chryslers, Packards, big tires. Sit on their laps. You don't need a seatbelt. It would take a truck to hit you, to knock you off your daddy's lap. So we go down to the hardware store. Here we go. The guys are drinking. Fumes are flying out of the car. They're in the hardware store, and they go out back and they open up some Johnny Walker Black and some Hamm's beer from the land of sky blue waters. So they start adding onto the counter, and they're putting sand, and they're putting tools, and a few things for the ladies, and the kids are putting bubble gum, and BB guns, and water pistols. Keeps piling up, and the guys are still going. Go ahead, kids, get some more. And we're piling and piling and piling. So finally, it's time to go. And we decide, the little kids, we're going to pack the bags like they do at Milgram's, the Piggly Wiggly, and the Safeway. So we pack the bags, each one for each man. We get in the car, and we start to go home. It's Mr. Jones's idea. Let's find the tamale guy. Let's find his cart. We'll find his cart. They empty his cart out. Well, he's going to have to find some more because on a Saturday night in Kansas City, when everybody's been imbibing, somebody wants some tamales. So we go home, and the next Saturday, the truck comes. And it's a Beacon's truck because the guys have gotten carried away, and there's an awful lot of sand. And the women in their aprons are saying, we don't care what you do, but that truck comes out of this neighborhood tonight. So the phone calls go, and there's at least 40 kids that come down to get sand. Then it's still full of sand. So out to the neighborhood and on the phone. Ben from the supermarket comes over. He says, I only use sawdust. They say it's free. He said, I use sand. They go to Dutch Boy Paints. He sends his son, who's a little slow, 10 trips, wheelbarrows, to get sand. So everybody's got sand, but there's still sand. So they go over to Booker T. Washington. The gate's open. They throw sand in the playground. Still sand. Go out. It's at least 50 blocks now. Sand. Dumping sand. Dumping sand. Finally, the truck is empty. Next Saturday, lumber comes. Everybody in the neighborhood's got a sandbox. They're building sandboxes. They're building sandboxes. All the women have sand for the gardens. Finally, at the end of the day, everybody's got a sandbox. All the kids have a sandbox, and all the cats have a sandbox.
All the cats! Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, yet another new person here. Give Abby the royal welcome. Huh? You're not new? Oh, I'm sorry. Give her a nice warm welcome anyway. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Oh, here, let me help you with that.
I got it.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you do that because I'm over here trying to be the cameraman. Focus in.
Perfect.
Yeah, I thought you were new. I totally forgot.
I did the one about effervescence. As
Oh,
well.
yes, I remember that now. See, it all comes back to me now like the hot kiss at the end of a wet fist.
You recognize the style. Thank you. So I wrote these 3 poems when I was traveling this June, so last month, and I think I timed it properly, so it should fit within the time frame.
There we go.
The first poem is titled Self-Luck. She whispers a problem child into existence, tapping in and out at a whim. Coveted sense of self is delicious, until it begins to twist and thin. Thickening plot lines of which I've sworn myself to secrecy, silent addendum and intense summertime greenery. Sober eyes watching God's work, elated reactionary dreams, good luck keeping peace when stillness won't find you. Forget love and give admittance to the heat. Okay, this one's called God and Dreams. Actually, no, I'm gonna do that one first. History.
Oh, I wanted to hear God.
It'll be next. History. Thank you. This is called history. His story can be weaponized. Gunmetal color on the metal of guns. Newest edition of assault weapon branded with the country logo. Logos of nothing and bloody ink drips in droplets, pooling vermilion on a blank page that is full of erasure crumbs. Little oblong dustiness of truth long gone. Flaky pastry of death wishes from the people in charge. They forget their own birthday, let alone who lives on the yard. These murderers forget the truth consensually with their morbid lust. They fill up the cups of disgust, ready to drop the porcelain and crack it over our heads. Syrupy viscous, running out and dumped into the pristine lake. The lake absorbs the lies, but there are always more deceptions. Eventually, the body of water loses its clarity and becomes murky without agreement, as a powerful, waning victim. Fuck you, government. Get out of your coffins. We stand above and raise our hands in gestures of the resistance. Next, a big middle finger to the overt idiocracy, a group becoming not demagoguery, but fascist autocracy. We don't believe in you, and you don't believe in yourself. The only thing left is the Reaper, for you are already putting us into pseudo-hell. This one's slightly more uplifting. It's a little cheerier than the last one.
Thank you.
God in dreams. I slept for hope and her gorgeous palace, a greatness feeling, comfort and contentment, dreaming of your love no more, but instead of joyousness and freedom, inspiring spires upon this newest castle of rightness. Heavens of lust forgotten and swept up into the riotous Netanya Sea. Mediterranean wakefulness touches my face with her breeze, warmth on my back, white shirt in the wind, softness of fabric, and a lovely lack of morning heat. No grief, for there is no love lost, all harms reduced to crumbs and light dust. Bricks of clay and sand, deepening gratitude, building up a royal accommodation for our princess, a new queen in her own right, full of time's brilliance, a touch of deep life. No pregnancy of fertile determination, but instead a peaceful acceptance, a kind found only in divine prayer. As she touches new realms of thought and action, higher planes glimmer, gleaming of reality, living and waking upon the support of true earth. This is my love. This is the heart I carry, bring, and now offer. This is newfound rightness of a safer destiny, a faithfulness of romance without questions pushing action. So slow, so measured is her pace. Romantic blossoms in Damascus rose, cherished within and without doubt. Truth breeds change, and through change her faith grows, ripe with the realness of the roads ahead, all traveled, all seen with high justice and life itself. Crisp reflection of a soul's evolution vibrating with femininity. She watches herself now in crystalline mirrors of hexagonal time. This is her eternal moment to become that new budding, petal upon petal, enclosing the love of God, God herself, almost done, and her own past, intertwine upwards into the healthy spiral of sacred illumination, bearing the torch of a cooling ambiance, satisfaction, and the hopes of all greatness as they weave across fading pain and settle into the nascent wisdom of her spirit.
Nicole the Magnificent shall come before us, before Joseph and Rob. We'll close us out and we'll take care of these wonderful prizes. And in case Abby made reference to this either directly or indirectly, it's either in Indiana or Illinois, I can't remember which state it is, but the Republican Party has as one of their candidates for state office an actual, really honest-to-God, card-carrying Nazi party member. And this is not the only one. There's supposed to be 5 or 6 of these sprinkled around, but this guy...
Probably Indiana.
That's not the first time then.
Oh, I know, but the thing is, like,
Could be Skokie.
he's running unopposed in the Republican primary. There's nobody opposing him. The Democrats have somebody running, but...
What role?
Huh?
What role again?
State office, right?
Senator, representative?
State senator, something like that, in Indiana. I think it was Indiana. It's crazy. Anyway, sorry about that. I just wanted to say that, and put you back on, and we will now give her a round of unadulterated applause. Where's And then Joseph and Rob. There we go. Sorry about that segue.
No, thank you. This is called Sugar Sand. Another birthday next week, turning a double digit, ending in a T. 20, 30, tick-tock, tick-tock. I'm nearly out of time for things I thought I'd do, people I'd meet. Now they're missed opportunities. Don't cry for me, Argentina! I keep fit. Sit-ups in the morning, push-ups at night. Kind of nice getting older and confident. A look in the mirror, more gray hairs and wrinkles. Forget being fit. This year I'm ordering a 3-layer cake with rainbow sprinkles. Look at their colors, topping vanilla frosting cake. The sound they make when you bite into the sweet sponge of fun, like sugar sand on my tongue. Reminding me I'm still young. At least young in spirit so I don't forget to laugh. I'm never gonna be old and serious, that's daft. Where does my sweet rainbow joy go when I'm at work, or when my heart gets hurt by another jerk? Then I come home, am greeted by a furry kiss. Love, it's what I've missed. All day long and definitely on the Muni train. Love makes sweet rainbow sprinkles even in the rain. I want to end by telling you his kiss will suffice. Forget my 3-layer cake, but why would I lie at my age? Because come Monday, I'm going straight to Whole Foods for that delicious overpriced rainbow sponge fun. Gonna enjoy it all and feel so young.
That's Nicole, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. And now, pardon my error before, but this person is new. Joseph, come on up here. Then we got Rob. Don't hear it! Is that Joseph?
Banjo in a bag.
Oh, I recognize
Not
that.
just any bag.
Move along, nothing to see here.
That's the famous tuning.
Yeah, tuning. Toning. Slow.
Oh, do you want to raise that up?
No, this is good. You know, I'm sort of an instrumental classic waiting to happen, but I do admire all the poets. So, but I chant a lot of mantras. I love trains. And Gus. Guys, remember the women's march?
And now the closer, second half coming back, the last word, Rob, and then we'll take care of these fantabulous prizes.
It's Rob! Oh, yes, it's Rob!
Rob again?
All right.
I've been Rob!
I bet he's heard that, you know, I bet he's heard that.
No, I didn't hear it here yet.
Well, you know, there's always a first
I've
time.
been here for a while, and so has he. So, it's been broken.
Yes, it has.
All right, the end of the medley. And I said, no, 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 I don't it no more. I'm tired of waking up on the floor. No, thank you, please. It only makes me sneeze. And then it makes it hard to find the people say I'm crazy, doing what I'm doing. Well, they give me all kinds of warnings to save me from ruin. When I say that I'm okay, well, they look at me kind of strange. Surely you're not happy, boy, you no longer play the game. People say I'm lazy, dreaming my life away. Well, they give me all kinds of advice designed to enlighten me. When I tell them that I'm doing fine, watching shadows on the wall, don't you miss the big time, boy, you're no longer on the ball. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. I just had to let it go. asking questions, lost in confusion. Well, I tell them there's no problem, only solutions. Well, they shake their heads and they look at me as if I've lost my mind. I tell them there's no hurry, I'm just sitting here doing time. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll, no longer riding on the merry-go-round. I just had to let it go. Imagine there's no heaven.
Yeah.
Rousing Rob. Rob the magic. All right. So, thank you. Next week, of course, we have Nellie Wong, famed and infamous for many things and a great soul. I'm going to introduce the door prize a little more time. Now, someone gave me this, Ray Bradbury's Dandelion Wine. I read this book when I was a kid, and it was the first book that I read several times over the course of many years.
Oh, may I add something about science fiction?
Yes.
Arlen Ellison died.
Yes, I know. Thank you. And he also wrote October Country, which I also read every October. So, then there's Kitchen Confidential. Oh, Anthony Bourdain. Is that saying right? Did I say it?
Yeah.
3 calendars. One of the poems I read was by Indigo Hotchkiss, so this is a book of hers, very fine poet. If you're a writer and you like to write, here's a fancy thing to write in, line paper on one side, blank on the other, and a pen. My friend Natalie Morris brought that this evening. Masochism in Sex and Society by Dr. Theodore Reich, whatever. Right, thank you. Alice Rogoff, Materials, another great poet. If you like rock and roll music that's randomly selected by someone who doesn't know what they're doing. And then this is from Native California and All About the Ring.
Yeah.
So those things are there for your discerning minds. And since you signed this thing with your name on it, and numbers next to names and like that, and you'll see that these cards all have numbers on them. And I have been shuffling them. My co-pilot is going to cut the deck. And then we will pick these cards. And you may take what you desire. There's also the mini feature, choosing the theme, the co-pilot, keynote, and of course the last word that you just saw. And she has cut the deck, my ladies and gentlemen. Now, a slight drum roll would be appropriate at this point in time. Thank you. Who's 18?
18 is David E.
David E.
Make sure you want to stop streaming, yeah.